This is your games media. Like, this is the head of the snake when it comes to games media. And I am shocked that people aren't like, yo, tap the brakes. Like, you represent us. How about you like take a step back and realize that you're a narcissistic psychopath? Hello, everybody. I'm Craig. Welcome to the Side Scrollers Podcast channel. Glad you found us. Hey, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the 102,000 normal men who have found common sense in the video game and entertainment space. Okay, so listen, if we're talking narcissistic psychopaths or sociopaths or just narcissists in general, we're talking about the favorite Kotaku blogger of everybody. It's Alyssa Mercante. And listen, I've invited her on the show. She, I would say, not so politely declined and has said many, many things to say about us, even though she declines to have conversations with us, which is amazing. With that said, I only talk about this, and the only reason why I talk about her in general is to point, and she is like the great beacon of what's wrong with the video game journalistic space in general. Someone who's on a high horse who definitely needs to be knocked off because she is so full of herself and she's surrounded in her bubble that she doesn't understand how normal people think. Right. And today is a great example of what we're talking about, where she literally blames you and Gamergate for getting Donald Trump elected in 2016. My, oh, my. Can you imagine what will happen in 2024 if that happens again? Oh. Once again, if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Okay, first and foremost, let's go over and let's talk about this. This is happened a few days ago, but there was the big brouhaha where we had the Mound studio who came in and just more or less ratioed Mercante with kindness. And this was amazing to watch in real time. We talked about it briefly, but he came in and he was talking about it. And I have a video about this up already, but if you want to see that, you can definitely go check it out. But more or less, he came in, ratioed Mercante in kind of the inner workings of how a studio works, right? But what's interesting is that now we're starting to see it only took one developer to have just the slightest little pushback along the way. Now, Mercante tried to go back to him and say, oh, maybe you forgot. And she tried to remind him that he posted a hit piece, or she posted a hit piece about Mound Studios and how it was a toxic environment. And, the long and short of it was a regular environment where he was the boss and he had to overrule some of his employees, and some of his employees didn't necessarily like that. Well, she looked really, really bad in that situation. But like I said, all it took was one developer to be like, yo, like, why are you so mad all the time? What's your deal? Like, what's this guy's deal? What's that clip? What's this guy's deal from Step Brothers? And that's pretty much what happened right here. And he included wonderful little notes about how like Shigeru Miyamoto is even guilty of, going in and just rewiping the whiteboard and saying like, okay, let's just keep going. But all those ideas we had, they're scrapped, right? And that's just kind of what happens. So we have this really wonderful explanation here, and you see that 20,000 likes on it over here. But Tim Soray came in, and he is a director of a game studio as well that's working on an awesome game called The Last Night. Now, The Last Night, it's coming out right now. Publisher Raw Fury, developer Odd Tales. It's a cinematic game. Very, you can see kind of the look of this. Has this kind of 2D, 2.5D look to it. Very, it says post cyberpunk world and a deep, vibrant vision of the future. Very pixelated, pretty cool looking. Anyways, he came in and was like, hey, this is a perfect reply from a legendary co-founder of Mound Studios to the worst kind of journalist. He said, compared to music or cinema, game journalist tends to be extremely hostile towards its creators, stemming from a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of the creative process. And once again, I've said this before, and I've mentioned this in the past, the idea of the divide between the media, the journalist, and the customer of video games itself. And I always thought that the divide was more or less here, right, between the customer and the devs and the media. But it's looking more and more like there's a bigger divide between the media and the actual developers. Because a lot of times, look, I'm going to tell you right now, I know very little about game development, right? But I do know it makes a fun game. I've made games before. I've been through this process. People have enjoyed games. Some people have hated games that I've been a part of. But in my mind, I have a good vision of what makes games fun, at least for what I like. And if I like it, then people will too. Most of the time, some of the times, yeah, whatever. But he kind of came in and erased it. But Tim is right. He's 100% right when it comes to this stuff. Compared to music or cinema, game journalism tend to be extremely hostile towards its creators. And we see this all of the time. But they have to work together. They have to play nice when it comes to this. So much so you saw this as well, where the senior writer for the upcoming Marvel's Black Panther wants a shirt that claims most gamers are bigots. So this is from Alexa Ray Correa, who has since locked her Twitter account along the way. She is being working on the Black Panther game developed by Cliffhanger. And she said she wants a shirt. This is actually in response to Alyssa Mercante when she said, "I don't support all gamers. Most of you are bigots." And Alexa Ray Correa, who stands by her statement so much that she locked her Twitter account, said, "I need this on a shirt." So I saw this and I was like, okay. So if you want to go pick up this, you can pick up the "Need This on a T-shirt" shirt at the incredibly overpriced $29.95, where I can promise you that I will give $0 to Alyssa Mercante and Alexa Ray Correa for this wonderful idea. It's simply right there. It is a screen print. It's just a meme. It's not meant to make any money, but it's more just a laugh at this stupid idea because she asked for it. So hey, it's right there waiting for you. I'll put the link to that down below. But what I really wanted to talk about today was the streaming career that has started. Now, look, I realize that when you watch side scrollers, we make it look easy, but there's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of hard work that goes in to every episode of Side Scrollers. When one show ends, the next show begins. It's not, we don't just turn on our webcam and go. But with that said, it may look like it sometimes, but Mercante has seen it, and she has started a streaming career, and her streaming highlights are phenomenal. And by phenomenal, it really gives you a great light into the insight that's going on in her broken brain along the way. And this is being passed around on the interwebs over on X today. And this is a real stream highlight that took place. And this really, I think, is a great metaphor that just symbolizes everything that is currently going on in society, where you're going to hear this and you're going to say like, what? How? Huh? Just take a listen here and listen to what she says along the way. She's watching a video here.
Did it fail because it's just not good media? But wait, hold on.
Let me slow this down so everybody can truly comprehend this. Check this out.
So I think everyone should make sure they watch this. I dropped the link. I pinned it in chat. Thank you for that, Dave. I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Wait, didn't she just say, I think everybody should watch this, and then said, no, I really don't want to watch the whole thing. Sorry, just a little nitpick along the way. It's like, I think you guys should watch this clip, but I don't want to watch the full 2 minutes of it. Sorry, just little nitpick. Sorry.
Mostly because my Dayquil's officially worn off, and I'm gonna go have a coughing fit. But
are you feeling that way?
I think I gotta go outside. Fucking rotting in here. I think this is all just like, there's a lot of things that you can watch and read to understand the way that this movement has.
When she says this movement, she means resistance to the narrative, resistance to the access media narrative that she is a part of, resistance to the idea that we're just going to consume. We're not, once again, they want consumers and not customers. They want you to consume the games and embrace what they are bringing to you, the slop that they are bringing to you, no matter what. Just consume it and like it. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. Don't you do that. All right. And the pushback against what we're seeing in video games right now.
There's a lot of things that you can watch and read to understand the way that this movement has.
And once again, I apologize for it being so small.
Gained steam. Meme Wars is a great book. It explains kind of how Gamergate led directly to the Trump White House.
Okay. So I just want to really, what? Okay. A movement in 2014 about video game journalism. Video game journalism led to President Trump being elected. Okay. Let me just get out those high bars for you and put out a little tumble mat for those mental gymnastics along the way. Okay. Yeah, keep going.
And misinformation and disinformation becoming, the new way to talk. And
misinformation and disinformation being not approved narrative, something that is not pushed by traditional access media, the traditional outlets that you'd expect. That is misinformation. How many things have we seen that were labeled as misinformation? I don't know, in the last 4 or 5 years that was labeled misinformation. Put down in the comments. Put down in the comments something that was labeled misinformation or disinformation in the last 5 years that has since come out to be true. We talked about this in some other videos, but what's the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality? Was it 6 months? Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right here. So once again, misinformation. I'll start with one. How about that? Okay, let's continue on.
Spread stories, but I think it's not a coincidence that this is all happening and during an election year and the fervor is as intense as it is. I think that
I don't like. Did she think that everybody woke up and was like, "Hey, let's all get together and talk about this"? No. Remember, how did this whole thing start? Sweet baby Chris Kindred. We talked about this today on our show today. The guy who attacked Cabrutus, a normal man who just created a list of Sweet Baby Inc. games. This whole thing started with an insane psycho on her side. So tell me how this is a coordinated thing. Please indulge me. Insane.
The way that people speak about me and other women and queer folks and people of color.
It has nothing to do with any of that, because many people are critical of everybody you just listed because they're all a part of the system. It has nothing to do with how you identify or who you want to touch or love. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the narrative that you push. It has everything to do with the toxic positivity that you continue to shove down people's throats.
In the space is very indicative of what's the real issue here. And the real issue is not DEI. It's not forced wokeism. It's
spoken like somebody who has no idea. Like, she has no idea what she's talking about. And this is her being absolutely narcissistic. She knows better than everybody. She knows better than everybody. It has nothing to do with these things. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
People who have long been the dominant group.
She's speaking of white males.
In whatever industry, be it games, be it movies, be it elsewhere, feeling the effects of no longer just being number one for the sake of being number one because they're white and straight and male, and not liking the fact that they actually have to work to prove their worth.
I think there's a lot of irony there. As somebody who is, she's saying this as somebody who's looking for handouts along the way because of her oppression, because she's so oppressed along the way. And that's the most fascinating thing about this, right? Anything that I've earned along the way as a white male, I have worked for, and I'm not afraid to work. It has nothing to do with other people having seats at the table. I welcome that. I welcome meritocracy. If you are good, I will work with you. Look around at the space. Her entire argument is void when you look around at the space of people who are critical of this. This is not just all white dudes who are critical of this. Absolutely not. We got people of all sizes, sexes, races, creeds, religions. There's some, we got gay people, straight people, trans people, all across the board, white, black, green, blue, purple, everywhere in between. And they're all critical of this. So can you be critical of all of them? No, it has nothing to do with that. And that's the thing that she is absolutely clueless. And that's where the disconnect comes from.
And not enjoying the fact that other people are getting a seat at the table. And at the end of the day, I said this before and I'll say it again, it's rooted in hate, it's rooted in sexism, it's rooted in racism, it's
Here it comes.
Rooted in homophobia, misogyny, transphobia, all of those things. You
can actually hear her, the amount of disinterest and the buzzwords that she's throwing out just in the tone of her voice. It says, no, 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 no. Like it's almost a script at this point. It's so, She said it so many times that she can just bust them out. What a miserable existence that is, to where you're constantly feeling victimized along the way. That's what we have here. It's definitely not this. It's like the Principal Skinner meme. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children. No, am I out of touch? No, it's all of the gamers. It's all of the gamers. Yes, Alyssa, you're the one. We're the ones who are out of touch. Okay.
And you can tell by the way that they talk about people, and you can tell by the things that they highlight, and you can tell by the memes that they share. You can tell when they're sharing.
Okay, and that's where the clip ends. I'm sharing this, and I think it's amazing that you feel that way, that she feels that way. And once again, this is somebody who represents games media. And once again, if I was in games media, I'd be like, yo, even if it's like a DM, yo, dude, chill out. Like, you realize you make all of us look bad. That's what happened with Chris Kendrick at Sweet Baby Inc. Like, there was heat on them on Sweet Baby Inc. based off of the actions of Chris Kendrick, and he got fired because of it, right? These people, the mental gymnastics that they have along the way, to think that there's like this coordinated effort, that we're all getting together and that some higher entity came together and brought us all together to push against this. No, what happened was pattern recognition. People go, well, that's stupid. Oh, that's stupid too. Well, there sure is a lot of stupid. Oh, that's stupid too. There's a lot of stupid stuff happening. Maybe we should talk about it. And that's how we got here. And one of the things that's really stupid is gaming journalism, which is a common thread to 2014 to 2024. And my, oh my, can we hear the rees now happening in just a few weeks away? If chaos rains down, it's going to be nuts. With that said, I got more videos for you guys. Go watch another one right here. Go subscribe right here. I would love to hear your thoughts about this down in the comments. Appreciate you guys popping in. Have a great rest of your day.